Hey, Steve with Texas Know-How here. We're here on the 2004 Jeep Liberty, 3.7 liter, 4x4. Ooh, has some drippage right here. We got the rear differential back here, and daughter decided to run it to a culvert. So we got a bend right here. Took off the gasket, penetrated the gasket, so we got leakage. It's been going on for a couple days. Finally got the new cover off of Amazon for about 30 bucks. And you want to notice first that the filler cap is on the right, so when you reinstall it, you want to make sure the filler cap is on the right. There's 10 bolts here. We're going to start off taking the bottom 3, drain this out, loosen these up as well, drain this out, allow it to completely drain, and then we're going to take the whole cover off. One of the things you want to think about is you're going to do this every 60,000 miles pretty much with every car, I believe. I looked this one up and they recommended every 60. My truck needs every 60, so I'm thinking that's pretty much across the board. You want to put some gear fluid in there, but we'll get to that in a minute. This one's going to take a 75 weight, 90 in the back, and it's going to take a little over 2 quarts. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to loosen up the bottom 3 here. And remember, so it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. I might need a breaker bar on this. Yeah, I'm gonna get a breaker bar. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I went around and I loosened up the 10 bolts that hold on this differential cover, and you can see it's leaking out more often now. And what I want to do is I want to keep all the bolts intact on the base itself of this back axle, and I want to go ahead and just like lift up the bottom and let this flow out, and not take this cover off until everything has been drained out of here. So let me get my screwdriver.
Disgusting.
Right. And I'm gonna go ahead and just gently pry this back. Got a little bit of a wind here. I really don't want it to go. There we go. You just break the seal, but be careful not to scar your axle here with the screwdriver. Okay, you can see it coming out now. That's good. You know, it's like I said, this is a 2004 Jeep Liberty, and believe it or not, I mean, it's 2019 now. Believe it or not, this thing only has 57,000 miles on it. So I'm pretty certain that this is the first time this has been cracked open and drained. And so we're right about that time. Remember, I told you about every 60. So we're gonna let gravity do its work here, and give it a little time to thoroughly drain. And we're gonna come back and we're going to remove these 10 bolts. Since my daughter put the Liberty on the bench, we're gonna let her turn the wrench. Okay, so we managed to get off all 10 bolts, and so we're gonna just slowly pull this off, and we're gonna let it just drop nicely into the oil pan. And there you go. Look at that beauty. Woo! That looks nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. That looks like a work of art right there. All right, so what we're going to do is just continue to let this to drain just a little bit. There's really not much going on here, but as you can see here, the old gasket is coming off, but we need to get on it with a good flat edge. If you use a razor, make sure you're real careful not to penetrate the metal. You don't want any kind of gouges in there for leakage. Okay, you want to keep everything nice and tight. Okay, and we'll come back when that's cleaned up and show you the next part. Okay, there you go. Look at that beauty. Got all that red off, all that red gasket, orangish red. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Are you out of breath?
Because we just took a gasket off. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was like a, I don't know, like one of the mid-levels of Dante's Hell. Trying to get that off. We used, what was it? Like a plastic type scraper. I'll show you right here. Plastic type scraper. It came off about 3/4 of the way, and then I ended up getting this Goo Gone, because it was just impossible. So I ended up getting this Goo Gone. I sprayed it on there, let it sit for about a minute, and it started peeling off a lot better. And then I wiped it down super good with a cloth right here. Some of this this garage type towel, right? The shop towel. And you want to make sure you get all the little remnants of the gasket out of here. And I think we got it all pretty good. Oh, there's a little booger right there. Okay, but anyway, as you can see, it's ready to go. So on to the next. Okay, so we're ready to go ahead and put on the new differential cover. If you notice here, remember I told you want to have the fill up on the right. We want to follow the same setup as we took off with the old one. This one is a Dorman. Got it off of Amazon for about 28 bucks. Dorman differential cover, part number 697-709. And it has a filler cap here. It's kind of neat that this one actually has a magnet here to help collect some magnetic particles that may appear in the axle. And then the other one didn't. The OEM didn't have that, so it's kind of nice. Also, we decided to go with the Lube blocker, L-U-B-E-L-O-C-K-E-R Lube blocker. And I've never used one of these before, but this is basically a reusable gasket. And so we don't have to worry about what we just went through. You know, we spent a good 30 minutes or so trying to clean off that old gasket. So with this one, whenever we want to change that after another 60, we just unscrew the 10 bolts, take off the cover. This will be reusable, and it's just basically a rubber gasket. So it's going away from the liquid sealants, and we're getting away from paper gaskets. And so this is supposed to be superior. This costs 21 bucks. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and install it. We'll see here. So open up the Lube blocker. I want to show you what it looks like real quick. Looks like a great product. You notice here, there's an exact fit on the screws. Perfect. Sits on there. I don't think it matters which way you go. One side looks identical to the other. One thing it does say is install it dry. Okay, so we don't want to put any kind of lubricant on here of any sort. We're going to install it dry like it says, and we're just going to hope that it keeps that seal and it keeps everything from leaking. But it looks like a great product just visually. It feels good, and I like the way it fits perfectly over the bolt holes. All right, we're going to go put this on, and we'll be back. All right, now we're ready to go ahead and cover up this beautiful machinery right here for another 60. I got the gasket, and what you want to do is just put the gasket, line it up here, right here. Look at that, it's perfectly. And then you want to get your cover. I went ahead and took off the filler hole rubber plug. Of course, I'm going to replace it, but it's easier to take it off when it's off. So I went ahead and just poked it through, and so now we're gonna be able to fill it up, and then I'm gonna put it back on. Okay, and I'm thinking right here looks pretty good. You know what I'm gonna do? This one, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna get the screws. I'm just gonna guide at least 3 in, you know, top, a bottom, and a middle one, so that I'm making sure that this gasket's getting installed properly. So there's the top one, here's the side one, and then here's a bottom one. I'm just gonna double check. There we go. All right, so I got the filler hole on the right. I'm gonna bring this up here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get these started. Right there. Okay, so I'm going to get these just in there just enough to hold this in place while I get the other ones in. Okay, I don't want to tighten anything down right now. Way too early for that. Way too early. Okay, and I get this one up here. Okay, so now it's on there. So what I want to do is now I want to go back and I want to go and get the rest of your screws in. Just hand tighten them in, making sure that you're following through and that the gasket's on the other side, okay, of this. And then I'm not gonna show you all that business. You know how to handle that, so I'll be back. Okay, so we got these hand tightened on here, and when you go in for the kill here, you want to make sure that you're tightening these down to 30 pounds. I I already looked it up in the manual. I got my torque wrench here, and what we're going to do is we're going to tighten them up. And remember, you want to do it in a crisscross fashion like you would on a tire. You know, if I'm doing this one, I tighten this down to 30 pounds per square inch, and then 30 pounds, and then you go up here to the alternating one up here. Then if you're doing this one down here, you want to alternate it to tighten down this one. Well, so basically what you're doing is you're avoiding going like one after the other or just random. Okay, this tightens it down more evenly. So let's go ahead and just tighten one down, and I'll show you. So we're going to go in here, and remember, it's always righty-tighty, so it's coming in here, and you always notice I have it set to 30. So when it comes down, you hear the click. You hear that? That's the click. You know it's at 30. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to this space up here, and you're going to get in there, and you're going to get this one, and it's a little booger to get to. You got to click. Let it click once. Do it again. I always do it 3. Why? I like 3s. Okay, and so we're going to go through and we're going to do the rest of them, and you get the picture, okay? I'm going to start here, I'm going to go up here, and we're going to get this all down. We'll be back in a minute.
That's great.
Just pop it in there.
Yeah, I think it's good.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so we got all 10 bolts in. They're all locked down to 30 pounds. And then we have the filler cap off, like I stated before. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go over here and we're going to get the 75 weight 90 gear oil, full synthetic, super tech. It's the Walmart stuff. I really don't you generally buy Walmart brand. I usually like to go with Valvoline for the or Pennzoil. Or even Mopar for Jeeps, right? But this is all they had on the shelf, believe it or not, where I was at, and so that's what I had to resort to. So we're going to go ahead and use this. It uses 2.1 quarts, so I got 3 of them, so it should get us where we need to. All right, so to be continued. Pretty much come to the last part of our journey here, and we're going to go ahead and start filling this up. I'm going to go ahead and just do it directly here. As you notice here, I put the oil pan underneath it again. The way you know when it's full is when the car is level, and you start filling it up, and when it starts overflowing, you're good to go. You can stop there, and you put the plug back in, and you'll be done with this job. Make sure you check for leaks afterwards, and if you did everything right, you shouldn't have to worry about this for quite some time. Okay, so Steve with Texas Know-How, and then we got okay, got the car started up, we got all the bolts on, got it filled up, it started overflowing. When it starts overflowing on its own freely, you know you can put the plug hole, stopper hole back in. We did that. Nothing coming out of there, nothing coming out from the bottom, so we're good to go. Mission accomplished. All right, until next time. This is to doing it yourself and saving money and knowing how things work.